product demonstration of the Galaxy S6 and S6 Edge. Okay. So as you know, this was already introduced in MWC last March 1 in Barcelona. So actually, we were very happy because the reviews were really positive. We got very good feedback. So we're really excited to share it with you today. So in MWC, we introduced, well, two phones. So you know it, it's the S6 and S6 Edge. So this will be available at the same time. Aside from being launched at the same time, it will be available at the same time. So they're kind of, in terms of hardware and software, they're kind of very similar. So just a few difference in terms of the battery and obviously, of course, in terms of the design. So over here, I have here the Galaxy S6 Edge. So I'll talk more about the dual edge screen. So this is the world's first dual edge screen, okay? So aside from it having, well, like a kind of immersive experience kind of way, because it's in both sides, the edge screen actually provides some custom capabilities. So it's not just about the design. So Samsung put capabilities here to make it useful for consumers. So over here, so the first one is that it helps you keep in touch faster. So you have People Edge. So what People Edge allows you to do is you can assign 5 contacts. So you assign 5 people who you contact a lot, and then it gives you quick access to call or to text them. Okay, and then like for example, I have, can you try calling me Ivan? So for example, I've assigned Ivan as one of the contacts over here. So whenever he calls or texts me, if you notice there are colors. So for example, Ivan is assigned to caller, wait, I'll try to turn it over first. So Ivan is assigned to caller red. So if he calls me and then it's down, here, just that one. Yeah. So it's what you call lighting edge. So he's assigned a caller, so you assign each contact a caller, and when they call you, it's what it will be seen here. So if you're in a meeting and you're busy and you can't like have your phone, just have it turned it over. So when you have an incoming message or call, you'll know it because it's coming out here. So he's assigned color red. So there's also blue, there's 8 colors to choose from basically. Yeah. And then if I'm in a meeting and I want to reject this call, I just put my finger in the heart rate monitor. And that rejects his call, and he gets a message saying that I'm in a meeting. So very useful. And then over here, so there are tabs. So in the side, the colors of the tabs. So you have assigned the people will come out. So for example, Ivan was color red. So if I swipe it out, there. So I see all my list notifications from him. Aside from that, there's icons so I can easily call him or text him back. Okay. So that's the People Edge and the edge lighting. So aside from that, when your phone is off, you can actually still use the edge screen. So you have it over here, and then you can swipe, and then you can get your notifications. Let's say your newsfeed in Yahoo, what you have your missed calls. I have a missed call from Ivan. Those messages that you may have missed, it all comes out there. So it's also kind of like a notification. So the edge screen allows you to keep in touch easier and to well stay notified since it all comes out here. Okay. So now I'll talk about what these two phones have in common. So let's first talk about the design. Okay. So design is really something breakthrough for Samsung. So we know that we've all seen how the design story has changed. So like in Q4 last year, we launched Alpha, we launched Note 4. So there you saw phones with aluminum frames, so metal frames. And then in January with the A series, we launched a 100% full metal phone. So over here with the S6 and S6 Edge, we're dealing with this time glass and metal. So it's metal in the frame, so that's also aluminum. And the glass part is Gorilla Glass 4. So it's Gorilla Glass 4 in the front and in the back. So later on you'll see it's full glass. And so the advantage of Gorilla Glass 4 is that it's 1.5 times stronger than Gorilla Glass 3 in terms of its breakability and its drops and everything. So that's an advantage. Aside from that is also the slimness. So even if it's glass and metal, it's still very slim. So compared to the S5, it's still slimmer. Okay, and then also the colors. So it's really inspired by gems. So the colors that we'll have for both models, there's going to be the black sapphire, the white pearl, and the gold platinum. And then aside from that, we'll show you later, we have special colors also. So for the S6, we're going to have blue topaz, And for the S6 Edge, we're going to have green emerald. So these are colors we're very excited to show you because it's really inspired by gems, and collectively, whenever we show it like to consumers in focus groups or even to other media, they really like all of the colors. Okay. So that's about the design. Now I'll talk about the camera. So, we also know a lot about cameras, having our own camera business, and we know how people, it's really the main tool that they use now to take their photos. So Samsung really improved the camera technology here. So the first one is that you have a faster camera. So you never have to miss a moment. So if you have a kid and she's doing something really cute, and right before you have to unlock your phone, search for the app, launch it. Now all you have to do is double press this, and it launches in 0.7 seconds. So front or back camera, just double press, then it launches right away. So that's a quick launching camera app. And then aside from that, it also lets you take brighter photos. So with the Note 4, what people really liked was that the front lens had f1.9 aperture. So because of that, it's bigger lens, so it captures more light. So the advantage is that in low light conditions, your pictures come out brighter. So Samsung got that and put it not just in the front camera, but also in the back. So now both are f1.9 in terms of aperture. And then aside from that, there are a lot of pro functions that Samsung built in already. So before, you take a photo and then you have to download applications, right, to edit it. So what Samsung did, without having to download, you have it here. So it's like the pros function. And then you can already adjust, let's say, the brightness. For those who are in the Instagram, you can already put your filters, your ISO, your white balance, even the macro settings. You can already edit it here and compose your picture before you take it. So that's also something that, a nice enhancement that they put over there. And then also a lot of things. So it has like the fast motion, slow motion. It even allows you to take 3D virtual shots. So later we'll demo it. So you take a picture of something and then you'll be able to tilt your phone and see different angles of it. So later we'll also show that. Okay, so aside from that, I'll also talk about the battery. So that's also another common feedback that we get. So what Samsung did is that, there's a lot of clamor for wireless charging. So what Samsung did is that it built in wireless charging already into the phone. So it's not something we just thought of doing now. So if you notice, like with the old Note and the old S, we actually had wireless charging, but you have to change the back cover. So the difference is that now it's built in, and it's compatible with wireless charging technology that's certified by WPC and PMA, which is like the universal ones. So I have a sample here. So this is a wireless charger. So all you have to do is like put it together, and it'll charge. So it will take you to 0 to 100 in just 3 hours, which is for wireless charging already quite fast. And then, so aside from that, if you don't have this, there are some actually Starbucks and McDonald's or even IKEA furniture that they're building in a wireless charger. So since it's already built in, you just easily just charge it in. So that's the wireless charger. And aside from that, there's also fast charging. Okay, so with the fast charging, the benefit it's the studies that when people in a hurry, 30 minutes long. So in 30 minutes, it will already bring you to 4 hours. 4 hours. Sorry. 50%. And then if you only have 10 minutes, it brings you if you only have 10 minutes, it brings you to 4 hours on standby. And then if you charge it for 80 minutes, that's already 1 hour. That's already 100%. And there's a numbers. Okay, and then, so I'll talk about the hardware. So in terms of the screen, it's a 5.1 Quad HD Super AMOLED display. So 5.1, that's actually like the predecessor, but the screen has been updated. So from FHD, it's now QHD. Okay, so the QHD, the last time we had that was with the Note 4. So we put that technology into the S6. And then in terms of the memory, so it's going to come in 3 variants. So there's the 32 gig, there's the 64, and the 128. And then the RAM is already 3 gig. It's already 3 gig. And then in terms of the processor, so this is an octa-core processor already. And then it runs with 14 nanometer technology. So the 14 nanometer technology is the first mobile phone to use this. So the benefit is that, aside from it being smaller, so it makes your phone a lot slimmer, it's also more efficient on the battery. So some may argue, if you look at the battery specs of this, it's actually a bit lower compared to the S5. And like the screen, it's Quad HD versus Full HD. So a lot would say, is it going to be less efficient? Am I going to have less battery compared to the S5? But because of the 40 nanometer technology, it's actually better than the S5. Okay, and it actually charges faster. Okay. And then aside from that, so into the battery specs, so the S6 is 2550 mAh and the S6 Edge is 26. But because it has of the 40 nanometer technology, it's actually more power efficient. It'll take you longer. Okay. And then aside from that, there are also some nice things that Samsung built into it. So one is, for example, the Smart Manager. So it actually allows you to see your phone diagnostics in just one tap. So you have your battery, storage, RAM, security. So for example, you click on your battery. So you see everything there, and then you can actually see your battery usage from the last time you charged. It'll break down what consumed your battery. So something actually useful. So if I see screen was like 60%, cell standby 10%, it breaks it down. So very useful for people who are also watching their battery and to know more about how you use your phone. And the same thing also for the storage, the RAM, and the security. So phone diagnostics all in just one thing. And then also, what's new about this phone, we have fingerprint scanner. So you all know naman that we had it in our other tablets as well. But the fingerprint scanner there is that you have to swipe it down, right? So if you notice our home buttons a bit bigger compared to the old home buttons, it's because you just have to press it and then it will open already. So very quickly, just press it. Sorry, my fingerprint's not here, so it's not opening, but it's just a press this time. Okay. So actually, that's just to wrap up the overview of the product. So Ivan and I will be here to take you through the details and to show you all the different colors. So it's the Galaxy S6 and S6 Edge. So it'll be available here around mid to end of April. So you can watch out for it. So yeah. So we're just going to be here to answer any of your questions. Thank you.